world. This is the third video in my Christmas lights playlist where we're using a HinksPixPro controller to create our Christmas light show. If you're new to my channel or not a subscriber, my channel is dedicated to me using the Python programming language to build my own digital assistant named Shane, like Jarvis from the Iron Man movies and comics. Please consider subscribing if you want to watch me build that digital assistant, and like this video if it helps you, and leave a comment if you are using a HinksPixPro controller to create your own custom light show. The real goal for me is to create my light show like you normally see on YouTube that are everywhere. But what I want to do is use Python to create an interactive light show. So that's the end goal of this. But for now, we're just going step by step in creating our own light show. So click here to watch the playlist from the beginning, because we're going to be starting off directly from where we finished in the second video. To recap, the first video we unboxed our HinksPixPro controller, we turned it on, connected it to the internet, got the IP address, and then did a quick port check with one port using a floodlight. And then in the second video, we downloaded XLights, hooked it up to our controller, and then just did a quick light show from our XLights sequence right here. So in this video, we're going to now be using the XLights, create a quick show, download it to an SD card, and then you take that SD card and put it in your controller. You change the operation mode, and then you no longer have to be connected to the internet with a LAN cable. And then you can just run your show directly from an SD card outside. And so to start off, we're going to be in XLights. And so in video one, or in video two, in the previous video, we set up this controller right here. We went to layout and created a background image. And I only had one floodlight at the time, but now I have 3 floodlights hooked up. All right, and then I showed you how to type in the IP address so you can make sure that they're working. And we went into sequencer, created a small sequence, clicked this output to lights, and ran the show. And so, but that's fine as long as you're connected, you have XLights open, and you're connected to the internet. But most people download it to an SD card and create a schedule, maybe every 15 minutes. So we'll be doing that. So first, just wanted to show you some quick animations. So if you followed along so far, you can go File, New Sequence. I'm not going to do a musical sequence in this one, so we'll just go Animation. 20 frames per second seems to be the standard. We'll go into timings, or I'm sorry, info. Oh, here we go. Go to wizard. Now go to quick start. All right, gives us about 30 seconds, which is fine. And then whatever you have connected to this, go ahead and double click this. And then we have all of our floodlights, all 3 connected to one strand. So double click that. There you go. Now you'll see 3 nodes. And so what you can do is you can turn on the lights. So you see how I just drag and drop that? And it's connected to 2 lights right now. So it'll default to the first one, which is white. And from here, making sure it's connected, you can extend it. So this is about 5 seconds that it's on. And it'll just glow white for 5 seconds. And the other floodlights are off. So if we play that, you'll see that this is white and these are off. Okay? So another thing you can do, let's change this to 10 seconds. You can click off of white, or you can let's go red. There you go. And now you have changed it to red. And when you pull in your second floodlight, it will also be red. And now we have this one selected, and let's change that to blue. Now we can pull another on, right? We're using the on effect, which just turns it on. And we will make it green. So now we have for 5 seconds or 10 seconds these 3 colors. Now another thing you can do is click on this little box, and let's say the start intensity is at, let's just say 20, and start from the frame. And now this one will glow. This one will basically grow into the 10 seconds from 20 to 100 intensity until it hits a full 100 intensity. So that's kind of the on, right? We're using the on animation, which is what you can do with flood lamps. Now, if you have candy canes or you've outlined your house, then you can use all of the functions. But like we talked in the previous video, a flood lamp is one LED, right? One node. So your options are kind of limited. But another one you can do is this color wash. This one's kind of cool. So let's go to 10 seconds. And since we just have one color, it's just going to stay green. But if we click blue, it's going to go through the gambit of colors to go from green to blue. So it has this like kind of aquamarine color in the middle and goes to blue. So that's kind of cool. What's another one that I used? I think that's really it. I just played with those in different combinations. Basically on and color wash. Yeah, let me just make sure. Yeah, that was it. But what you can do from there is do, you can zoom in and go down to the second frame. And then I imagine when we start doing musical sequence, you're going to have to get into like the half a second. But for like 1 second, you can do green. And then you can have it turn off and have another second that's green. And another second that's green. And then you can go to right about there, change it to red, and you can make this red for a second, red for a second, and then red for a second. And then we can go about right here, and we can go blue, and go like this. Drag it here. All right, and then we can go back here and let's see how that looks. So it's like a chasing effect. I have to get these spacings correctly because some of them overlap. So you can just do that a bunch of times. And yeah, so that's how you create it. So let me show you what I have. So open recent sequence, and I have this 3 minute or so. So I put in a lot of these. Again, these are just on and offs and color washes. And so just trying all the different effects that I could. You can go up here, and let's say you want to color fade from blue to green. It goes in order. So you just press this reverse right here. And now it reversed the order. So now you can go blue to green by clicking blue to green. You reverse it. You can go to green to blue. So that's one thing to note. Yeah, so flood lamps don't have a huge effect, but still kind of cool with what you can do with it. So let's say you're done, right? You created a show, and you're happy with it, looking at it in the layout or even outputting it to lights. So from here, you can just go to Tools, and then HinksPixPro. And then make sure it finds your controller, and make sure you have updated your controller like we did in the second video, in the first and second video, and make sure that this is all right, and you want the mode in master. Find the sequence you are trying to find, and then press export to SD card. Go ahead. Right now we're not doing some start and end times, So, but you can start this at whenever it goes sundown for you, and then end it at 1 in the morning so it doesn't run all night. And then export the SD card, and it will just keep a basic schedule and keep it rotating. Just for testing purposes, I left it at 00 and then midnight. And then you press to export to SD card, and it will say not responding for, I don't know, 5 seconds. And then it'll say upload complete. I don't have a USB card in there because I have my camera for YouTube, or I'm sorry, my mouse connected, my microphone, and my webcam. And so I don't have another SD card, but if I did, I'd have it inserted. This generating HinksPix files for HinksPixPro will run. Mine always says not responding for about 5 seconds, and then it'll say successfully uploaded. And that's it. So from here, you have your micro SD card. And now let's go to our controller, where we will, we have to change the operation mode on the LCD menu inside of our controller. So let's go there now. All right, so we are now have our controller powered on. And apologize for the LCD blinking like that, but my camera records at 59 frames per second, and I imagine this is refreshing higher than that. So anyways, we have it. It should be bouncing in between E131, an IP address. Mine says 10.10.10.10 because I don't have the internet hooked up. And then it should also say the date and time, and then it blinks to E131. And E131 means that it's expecting a Ethernet cable, but we're not going to do that. So take the SD card that you just downloaded your XLights sequence to, and press it into the SD card slot here. And then on the LCD screen, press the middle button, and then press the down button for operation mode. We'll click it there, and then it'll say currently active E131 mode, and then change. Go ahead and click it to change, and then it'll say currently E131 mode, make slave, and make master. And we're going to click make master and then press the center button. And now it's going to reboot. And it's going to do a normal thing. It's going to count down from 10. It's going to test the ports and the lights. And then it's going to go into the master mode, where it's going to look for the SD card and look for a sequence. Now, if you are pretty excited about this like me, then you're not want to bring your wife out immediately, because it's not showing up here. And my cat is right in front of the camera. All right, and so down here at the bottom, it's going to say searching, and it searches down from 1 minute. So if you're like me, you brought your wife out immediately to come check, and then it waits for a minute. Mine pauses every odd seconds, so it's actually longer than a minute. So what I recommend is turning it on, setting it up, let this do its thing. And if you have like a 3-minute show, let that show run and then call your wife and tell her how excited you are. So that's my cat saying hi again. And once it's down for there, it'll count down to 0. And then it'll, at the very bottom again, at the very bottom down here where it says searching, it will once again, it'll show you the floodlight or whatever sequence you named it. It'll say the name of the sequence dot sequence, and it will start running it. So again, we made it the master. So master means that it is its own CPU now, and it's going to look for an SD card for the appropriate sequence to play. And now if you do have your internet connected, you can disconnect your internet, and it should say schedule active, playlist active, and then at the bottom it should say the name of your floodlights.hseq. And that's what ours says. I don't have my flood lamps hooked up because they're outside now and I'm recording this inside. And so that's pretty much it. That's all that happens. And it'll just continue running it unless you added a custom schedule. So that's my cat Cinnamon. She is saying hi. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps. Please like it and leave a comment if it did help you. And thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.